Hi everyone, Sheen here. That's what she said. Coming to you today on June 9th, I believe it is, Monday, with an update. The last time I came to you was just before having my 7th chemo, which was my 3rd Taxol, but 7th out of 8th total chemo. Actually, right after I came to you, I wound up having an appointment with the radiation oncologist and then having my chemo. Before I get into what the radiation oncologist said, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this round of chemo and how it was the hardest round by far that I've had yet. It's funny, they say that the AC chemo is more dangerous from a physician's perspective. However, I would say from a patient perspective, the Taxol has been more taxing on my actual body in terms of joint pain, vomiting, nausea, nerve pain, neuropathy. I've been having bad neuropathy of my fingers and the bottom of my feet. And I guess I just wasn't really feeling so great baseline before even getting the Taxol. So with the cumulative effects of chemo, coupled with the fact that I wasn't feeling well when I received the chemo, I just think that it made it hit me worse this time. On Friday, after I had my chemo, unfortunately, I fell asleep that night and I sweated so much that I sweat off the Neulasta patch. So on Friday, after having chemo, my dad had to drive me back up to Cooper Hospital in Camden, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive each way, just to have the Neulasta shot given to me, which, if you remember, helps my body regenerate white blood cells. So my dad took me there, and I really was feeling horrible. But my really bad symptoms didn't kick in until Saturday. Before I get into that, though, I just did want to talk a little bit about the Taxol. When they give it to you, they give you a combination of Benadryl and steroids, and boy, does that Benadryl knock me out. It's like I can't possibly stay awake. No matter how hard I try, I fall asleep. And this week for my chemo, my best friend Rachel drove me up and then tag teamed so she could go back and pick up her kids from school, my godchildren, and my dad wound up meeting us, and then he took me home. So on Saturday, I wound up being really sick. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was vomiting, and I had extremely bad digestive and bowel symptoms, where in addition to vomiting, I was taking the anti-nausea meds and still vomiting on top of that. And in addition to that, I wound up having mucus and blood in my stool, and I really felt like I was dying again. I felt like I was hit with a baseball bat in my stomach. I had pain high and pain low. And really bad joint pain, like I was telling you. So when you couple all of that together, it really becomes unbearable. And I had tried a new pain medication this time that my doctor gave me that dissolves in my cheek. That way I wouldn't have to take pills if I was vomiting. And I really actually did not like that patch whatsoever. So I'm actually going to see that physician, Dr. Buck, this Wednesday to talk to him about how we can manage my final chemo. So from there, unfortunately, I wound up having another setback, which led me into the hospital last Thursday. My friend Paige came over and my grandmother came over, and I was telling them about the symptoms that I was having with my bowels, and they just both noted how off my skin coloring was. So I called the hotline at MD Anderson Cooper, and they spoke to my oncologist, Dr. Maida, and he wanted me to go to the emergency room immediately to have a CAT scan done, and whatever else needed to be done. So my friend Paige drove me up to Cooper, and they did the CAT scan of my chest, abdomen, pelvis. They did blood work, and my white blood count was really elevated, which we expect from the Neulasta, but they also think that there was infection going on that caused it to be higher as well. And on the CAT scan, they had found colitis, so inflammation in the bowel, and mucus all in the antrum, or one part of the bowel. And in addition to that, side note, there was some atelectasis found in my lung, which I think is interesting, especially being that I just had that mycoplasma infection, the pneumonia, in April. So I don't know if it's remnants of that or what, but that was a new finding. So they wound up admitting me and giving me fluids. I was on total bowel rest, where I didn't eat or drink, and they gave me pain medication and started me on 2 new antibiotics to help clear the bowel infection. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about sepsis and the acronym TIME, T-I-M-E. It's really important to note because if you wait too long, you can wind up having one of these complications that you could potentially die from. And in my case, luckily, I went in before I was completely septic this time. So TIME, the acronym is T, temperature, low grade or high grade. This time I had a low grade fever where my temperature was about 97.2 most of the time. But I had extreme chills and heat flashes where I was sweating and freezing at the same time. It's so annoying. So T, temperature. I stands for infection. Last time it was a mycoplasma pneumonia. This time it's a bowel infection. M stands for mental alertness or stability or instability, and I felt that both times where my mind felt like confused. And then the E stands for, I know this. Oh, chemo brain, don't mess me up now. The E, the E, the E. Oh, extreme illness. Extreme illness, meaning you feel like you're gonna die. And I really did feel like I was gonna die both times. And to be 100% honest with you, I probably should have gone into the hospital this time 3 or 4 days earlier, when I was just at home extremely suffering alone and vomiting and nearly losing consciousness. So the only thing that stopped me from calling or going in sooner is that I desperately want to finish my chemo treatments. I really don't want Dr. Maida to reduce my final dose or cancel it altogether. And so here's me trying to control things, and it hit me on Thursday with my Graham and Paige there that, like, you're trying to control something and you could die in the meantime. So luckily I went in, I got treated, and this morning, Tuesday morning, I went and had my, hopefully, what will be my final blood draw before what will hopefully be my final chemo this Thursday. Again, I'm praying Dr. Maida doesn't put it off. I'm telling you, I'm feeling 90% better than I was even yesterday and the day before. So these antibiotics are working and I'm feeling a lot better. Pray to God that my numbers come up good and he is able to give me my full dose on Thursday, and then I can ring that bell of really completing my treatment, because I never want to deal with metastasis. I'm going for full cure, baby. I guess I'll leave it there for now. You know, I did have a little more information I wanted to give you from the radiation oncologist, but I guess the only thing that I'll say for now is just that I'm gonna have to be out of the sun for a lot of the summer, wearing sunblock. I'll go with all natural, non-toxic. Make sure they don't test on animals, no aerosol sprays. I have to use really natural sunblocks and creams that I'll be putting on twice a day. So I wanted to keep this video short and just update you so you could see me and know I am feeling a lot better. God willing, I will be having my last treatment this Thursday. I love you all. God bless you all. One last final thought. Thank you, Senor Dean, for the prayer cards that you sent me. They mean so much to me, and they came through on my sickest days. Thank you also to all of my friends who have been reaching out to me, and all of my family. All of your prayers mean so much to me. And then just the community in general. One thing I've learned from this is just how kind and compassionate people really are. I mean, it's unfortunate that it takes having cancer to really, really, really see it. I wish everybody were as kind to everyone else as they are being to me right now, because it really fills my heart and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I love you and I will see you soon. Have a beautiful day. Mwah. That's what she said.